welcome to another installment of the Fragments of Silicon reviews. 4 reviews up this week, the first of which is a game called Open Hexagon. Now, if you're seeing the footage here, you might be reminded of one Super Hexagon that got released, like 8 years ago at this point. Or it's been a while since Super Hexagon came out. The brainchild of one Terry Kavanaugh. Probably most famous for developing V6, the V with the spikes.
Yeah.
And we previously covered Dicey Dungeons on this program. This is probably his second most famous work. Famous enough to provide inspiration to a overt homage to the game. Like the Steam page opens up with a quote from Terry Kavanaugh about Open Hexagon. So, if you've never played Open Hexagon or Super Hexagon for that matter, the goal is it's very simple. The goal is to survive. Because
yes, you are a small thingy in a arena that is constantly lines closing in on lines and sometimes solid blocks closing in on the core hexagon, and you need to not be where the lines are when they get there.
Yeah, and the controls are really simple, though Open Hexagon does add to the game because, you move to left, move right, but the innovation that Open Hexagon has brought to the fore is a 180-degree spin, or a turnaround. It also does have the slowdown feature, which is handy if you're using the keyboard. That's about it in terms of its core mechanics. Now, where Open Hexagon goes above and beyond Super Hexagon is it's got more than one level because now it has been a long, long time since I played any bit of Super Hexagon.
Didn't Super Hexagon have Tetris-style levels where it's just, it gets harder and faster?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it kept to the It kept to the hexagon. Maybe sometimes you get better and you go down to a pentagon, and so forth. But it kept the basic shape here. Open Hexagon, the open part is open source, and that also means it brings a much, much wider variety of levels. Like, on the Steam page here, you got like this tunnel level that's really fucking hard. Or, you got this one level where the level is trying to stab you, basically. It's a bunch of triangles shooting out. They are variations on a theme, and that theme is, to survive the deadly shapes and stuff that will kill you. But how you deal with them is much different than how you deal with the hexagon here. And that ties into the even greater replayability. Like, see here, Petty's playing a square level. Though I think perhaps the biggest downside of this game is a lot of these other levels they're harder. They're a lot harder than the basic hexagon level, and the hexagon level wasn't easy at all. Granted, I'm sure with repetition and play, you get better. I mean, it's a modern day arcade experience. It's short on, actual playing, but, the job is to survive as long as possible. It's just, this wasn't the kind of game you could do back in the day, but would have fit in well with actual arcades, I think. probably would have got a nice rotary dial. Like, I'd imagine a rotary dial would have been really good for the Hexagon games. Just, nobody makes those anymore. And I will always lament that. Anyway, and with a wider variety of levels, it is...
Yeah, your movement is strictly rotary, so...
Yeah. With a wider variety of levels, you've also got a wider variety of aesthetical choices here. Like Petty showing off the tunnel level I talked about a bit ago.
Oh man, you already got to the part where you fight Sans?
Yeah, this one is really fucking hard because it's not just you got that little hump, and also that line that comes down and kills you right quick. Anyway,
I mean, I was to a large extent not kidding. That's what Sans' boss fight is.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's just this has no context. This has no story, narrative, or whatever attached to it. It is pure abstraction. You are basically an arrow. Once again, that's the kind of thing you would have seen in the golden age of arcade. You are a abstract thing. Whether it be a paddle, a spaceship, or a can of bug spray.
I mean, even back then, you do get your space invaders and your missile commands, but
yeah, that's the more modern part of the thing. There's not even the pretense of any sort of narrative. You're just an arrow surviving on a hexagon in the void. Right? And yeah, the art style is pure minimalism here, as you'd expect. Super Hexagon had the same thing.
But it's like vector minimalism, not pixel minimalism.
Yeah. And the music is what you'd expect, and that is a lot of electronic music, a lot of synthwave, that kind of thing. It's good stuff. And it is a central mechanic to the experience. As it was once again in Super Hexagon. Anyway, another thing that makes Open Hexagon the more desired game over Super Hexagon isn't just the base levels that are programmed in here. The open refers to open source. I think I mentioned that before, but it does bear repeating because that means this game has a community behind it who are making their own levels. From what I'm seeing here, it doesn't have Steam Workshop integration, at least not yet. That might be a thing that's in the cards. But basically, you're encouraged to make your own levels.
I wonder how user-friendly the level creator is.
Well, I mean, the Steam page touts that it's a good introduction to programming, apparently. I had no interest in testing that stuff out, so I could not say. But yeah, this is a very community-focused kind of game, at least in terms of creation. I'm not sure how much communication goes in, since this is a very strictly single-player affair. And yeah, I think that covers the basis in terms of Open Hexagon, except for price. This game clocks in at $5, $4.99. No sort of DLC or soundtrack or anything like that. Not here. Like I said, if I'm recalling correctly, I think Super Hexagon clocks in at $2.99. So it is a bit more expensive, but Open Hexagon is by far the more sustainable choice. Provided you like this kind of game, I'll be upfront. I can respect this game. It's a very solid game, especially at what it attempts to do. I don't like it. I don't like Super Hexagon. I don't like Open Hexagon. Like, I think the games are too brutal for their own good.
Mm-hmm.
I get that's what they're going for, but it's like, you know, I have not gotten into the games like they wanted me to get into. It's more, I play this for 5 minutes and then I go play something else or do something else. And that would be my biggest warning to purchasing either Hexagon game. It's like, if you're not into short, rapid, difficult, arcadey experiences, don't buy into this, because it is that. The difficult part doesn't change. At least not from, like, maybe there's some user-created levels that might alleviate that. But, you know, if you're looking for... I mean, as far as accessibility, it's dead simple. So I would hazard to think of how it could get more accessible. It's difficult. And that's its whole thing. You know? And once again, I can respect it. I don't like it, but I can respect it. And yeah, otherwise it's a solid game, and not a huge improvement mechanically over Super Hexagon. But you know, its innovations are in adding a whole bunch of levels and new twists on the formula in the levels. So yeah, I'd say this is a fairly solid 6 out of 10 on the arbitrary scale of arbitration. Anything else to add to Open Hexagon?
Not really.
Alex?
Sorry, I was muted. I think I've mostly said my things.
All right. So I think that'll about do it for Open Hexagon. Be sure to tune in after the break, as Petty Fan will be reviewing Tekorita Meets Fries.